Um, there you go. If you don't have any of the other items, but essentials, yeah, newspapers, cutleries, rubber bands. You're gonna have some time to find these other items, so not to worry. Thank you, Charlotte.
And I was going to say that this session is going to be interspersed with a little bit of my sharing of my own personal experience with the change making skills that we at Playeum expand upon, interspersed with some activities and playful time with Imran. So there'll be a bit of sharing and a bit of experiential playing. I wanted to say before I start, I was very inspired by the keynote speakers, Faye and Glenda from yesterday. I don't know whether how many of you logged on to listen. What inspired me was they spoke from their own creative space. I share something with you that I have where how I've been sharing and speaking, a lot has been by notes. So I wrote tons of notes for this presentation to you. And I decided I'm going to ditch the notes because I've been inspired by Faye and Glenda to speak from the heart and to speak with what I know and what have I personally experienced. So before we begin, let's have some videos on. If you can, it will keep us connected to each other. The videos on will be great. Let's be patient with each other and technology. So Imran and I have planned that if either of our computers fail, we will take over and just go and wing it, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law, Saturday morning, guys.
Yeah, and already my computer shut down once this morning already. So you can speak, of course, anytime you wish. Raise your hands or go to the chat. Unmute yourself. More importantly, get comfortable and have fun. Right? Drop all limitations you have in your mind. Just experience this fully. And if you don't mind, we're going to use Padlet for this session. So Padlet is I think most of you are familiar with it. If you can scan the QR code, which I'm also going to do now, although I can see it. And if you can scan it and get onto it, log on, because we'll be using it to capture some of your sharings and your thoughts and your doodling and your pictures and what you're going to make as well. Shall we leave it on for a few seconds while you scan the QR code, please? Or the link.
That's right. Thank you, Charlotte. And also, just to highlight that at a certain point of the presentation, we will go back to the palette to reference everybody's input. And this is very valuable even to Playeum. Yeah. So this is going to be a two-way traffic morning. We're not here to just download. It's important to also have a sense of your reflection with what we have used for more than a decade of work with children. Yeah. So a lot of the activities are actually on a basis of reflection of who we were. Yeah. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you. Shall we start, Imran?
Sure thing.
Excellent. Oops, I think we missed a slide.
One moment.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to share a little bit about who we are and why we do the work we do. Also, because it's important for all of us to understand the perspective we come from. Yeah. So, Playum is a charity, and we work with children. Okay, to unleash their voice and agency, 21st century skills using play and the arts. Right. So we work with all children and those from marginalized backgrounds, as well as those with varying disabilities. We use play, creativity, and the arts to build skills like, critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, communication, right? But we also realize as we do the work that our work with adults become increasingly important because adults hold space for young people, right? They and more about that later. But adults have the power to be creative facilitators to scaffold their imagination or their thinking, and holding space in a safe, non-judgmental space is very powerful. Imran, you don't mind moving to the next slide, please? Yes. So, okay, why do we use play? Because play is the main way that children navigate their world. They navigate their world through play. They learn how to negotiate, they learn how to share, communicate, they play with imaginations in their games, they create rules. And all these skills of creativity, imagination, ideation are these 21st century skills. They are these change-making skills that we speak about so much in this forum, right? So when children play even independently, They are developing independence, concentration, problem solving. You know, he has to decide how is he going to make this longer, fix it. When he play together in a group, it's about collaboration, it's about negotiation. It's also about understanding self-regulation. Like, if my behavior is this way, what is it going to incite with my friends? So play is an important way that children navigate their world, but also for adults. You know, have you heard of that saying, the way you understand a man in better in 1 hour of playing with him, right? There's a saying that something, it goes something like that. But you understand what I mean. When you see someone play, you understand their perspective, how they come about. You can see leadership skills when you come with play. Next slide, please, Imran. Okay, so our approach when we work with children and also when we share our experience with adults is that it's open-ended, self-directed, and child-led. So what does open-ended mean, right? So if you look at it, we look at how it's not about the outcome. It's about the process of how we go about facilitating the child's play. Self-directed also meaning that it's from the child. It's not us telling them, why don't we do this? Or like, put this here. It's going to work better if you use glue, right? It's about not about solving the problem from your angle, but allowing the space for the child to come up with their own ideas and their own failures in terms of solving those problems. So the skills that we bring about, of course, are problem solving, resilience, and critical thinking. And these skills, if I draw it back to the Changemakers Forum, it is all about change making skills, right? In this world that we live in, these are the skills right now, currently in this COVID situation. These are the skills. You know, you need creative problem solving on a daily basis, not just for your life, but for your work or for your homes, right? So our underlying philosophy is that children are creative and competent. If you move to the next slide, I will expand a little bit more about what is your image of a child.
Okay, Charlotte, I think I double clicked. I'm just going back to this one right
Okay,
before. Yeah, about the image
no
of
worries.
our child. Yeah.
No worries. So, what is your image of a child? Do you see a young person or a child as an empty vessel waiting to be filled? Like, meaning that when they're born, oh, there's not much in them, I have to fill it up, I have to add the knowledge. Or do you see them as creative and competent as they are and able to contribute at 2 years old or 15 or 17 years old? So our view is that a child is creative and competent and they have actually a lot to offer. I just give you everyone, I think a lot of you know this survey by NASA. It was a famous survey by NASA with 1,600 young children at 4 to 5 years old. And they did a kind of a survey where it measured their creative genius. 98% of the cohort of this 1,600 4 to 5-year-olds was said to be a rated creative genius. And 5 years later, they did the same survey again, right? And it went down by 30%. And 5 years later, again, they did the same survey and it went down again to 12%. So what they never really concluded why the level of creative genius dropped, but they realized that children are actually innately creative geniuses. And creativity is like a muscle. It's something that all of us have within us. It just needs to be used. Imran, can you move to the next slide, please?
Sure.
Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, so just if I summarize all the values that underpin our work, all right, and the lens that we come from, let me share a little bit of the points that I wanted for us to, the lens that I hope we can see through today as we go about our sharing and our doodling and our making, okay? Creating and holding a safe space, physical and psychological, that's free from judgment. This is very important for us as parents or as young people, holding space for each other even, or even as adults holding space, not just for children, but for your colleagues or for your friends or for your home members. When you hold a space that's free from judgment, it means to us that we don't judge when a penguin has 3 legs, when a child draws a penguin with 3 legs. We talk about the third leg. You know, what's the third leg for? And you'd be surprised at the ideation and the imagination that comes out from it, right? So we celebrate difference. We celebrate the imagination by talking about it and asking, how did you do that, right? What if it happens this way? We also, then I move on to the what ifs and the hows, and we facilitate through scaffolding. That means it is not our ideas that matter so much as the adult or as the one holding space. It's about how the child comes up with their own ideas. So we facilitate through scaffolding, and that we will experience later on in the last part of our session today by provocations. What if, how? Yes, how can we move forward? Yes, and, right? We also allow time and space. Now, I think time and space is very important in creativity. A lot of times, you've been to schools or sessions where, okay, everyone, you have 20 minutes here and we're going to move on to the next session in 15 minutes. It's quite normal that we move on to stations of work. And we see this quite often, in playtime, right? But it's important to allow for time and space because that's when curiosity develops. That's when failures happen, where things that, oh, this didn't work. And you experience this later when you make something. You realize that some things don't work, but actually you need time and space to allow it to fester, to sit with it, and then to dial in on that creativity to say, oh my God, I got an idea now. And the next point is equal opportunities for all of them to express themselves. This is very important because voices heard and voices suppressed is equally powerful. When a voice is suppressed, it's as powerful as when a voice is heard. When a voice is heard, there's confidence, there's validation. And we are human beings. All of us need validation to be heard as our voice. We don't always have to agree. We can agree to disagree, but voices heard is very important. That's why, going back to our mission, we champion children's voices, right? Because we know that that builds character, that builds confidence. And in our latest Minister of Education speech, I think a few days ago, he talked about confidence. He talked about how important confidence is for young people, right? And I think that is an important aspect of our development. We also use play in the arts as a medium or as a channel, right? Because play in the arts, as you know, children navigate their world. We navigate our world. We have fun. We let down our guard. But the arts is a very powerful way to connect with your creative self within. We all have a creative self. You can say, I'm not an artist, I'm not creative, but today you're going to see, we're going to prove you wrong. All of us have a creative self. And when you connect to that creative self by singing, by doodling, by making, by even doing simple things like gardening, you will connect to your soul. It's very powerful. I mean, you can call it therapeutic. Yeah. The freedom to create, the blue ocean thought where what if there are no limitations, right? What if I have all the money in the world? What would I do? If I had all the necessary education or my relationships are going all well, what would I do? What can I create? How am I going to solve this problem? And the last part I wanted to say is how everyone is a learner and everyone is a teacher. I mean, if you see your child, my child is 10, and I see him also as a teacher. There's a Buddhist saying that everyone in your life put there is for a reason. They show you something about yourself. So everyone is a teacher, right? All of you are, and everyone is also a learner. Okay, so that was a big slide that I wanted to share because all this underpins our values and how we approach the work we do. Imran, next slide, please. Okay, so in our work of change making, we're going to talk about 3 skills that we believe are that supports change making. Okay, creativity, resilience, and provocations. Okay, after we speak about creativity, we will embark into an activity that's quite simple to warm up. And then when we speak about resilience and provocations, that's what we're going to do to experience some parts of that as well. Yeah? Okay, thanks, Imran. Okay, so what is creativity? I mean, if you Google it, it's out there, right? When you Google it, it says creativity is the ability to come up with new and original ideas to innovate, right? That's what it is. But it's also about ideation, it's about products, right? And I always believe, I think we all believe that with, in the National Day speech 2 years or 2.5 now. It's been some time that we've been at home. But I remember the National Day speech in August 2 years ago, where our minister said, we want to innovate, innovate, innovate in Singapore. He said it 3 times. And innovation comes with creativity, but it also comes with failure. How comfortable are we for holding space for failure, right? Because with failure, that's when creativity emerges, right? Okay, Imran's pushing me on now. Thanks, Imran. Oh, wait. He's like, move next. Okay, so time for creativity. How do we hone in, right, to creativity? You gotta let your mind wander, okay? And have downtime, because I tell you that when you have downtime for yourself, that's when generative thoughts happen, right? I was reading Inc. article by Inc. and it said that if you want to have creative thoughts, you need to dream. You need to let your mind wander and think and dream. I think that's very important because it's, there's a religious saying, and again, I'm not religious, but I'll share it, that in order to listen to God's whispers, you have to be still. So if if you want to be still, listen to your inner wisdom, right? There is a lot of wisdom and knowledge that comes from within, and all you have to do is to be still to listen to it. Feel I'll talk about emotions later, but right now, let your mind wander, have downtime in solitude. Talking about solitude again, there was a very nice TED talk about introverts by Susan Cain, and how introverts actually contribute largely in this world of people who can't stop talking. And because they have a lot of downtime, they have a lot of time to fester the thought, feel what it means to be this way, to feel whatever fears they have or thoughts around the idea or the situation. And from there, they generate thoughts and solutions. And the last part is, I would say, the blue ocean thinking. I mean, the blue ocean strategy came about largely from an INSEAD professor. It talked about finding areas in the blue ocean where nobody competes with you, right? That's the whole idea about the blue ocean strategy. We adapted and think of the blue ocean thinking, where the world is your oyster. What if there are no limits? What if there's no boundaries, right? What would you do? So if you see from that perspective, how can I work to come up with the ideas I need to come up with? Imran, do you want to move to the next slide? Okay, that means this is the end of me talking for now, which is a good thing, because I think right now it's time to play. So I just want to encourage everyone to just immerse yourself in the experiential next few minutes that Imran is going to take you through, okay? Imran, let's rock and roll.
Okie dokie. All right. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Just realized that I've got this problem with my finger. It goes like I could send Morse code this morning. Maybe it's the 2 cups of coffee or something. It's making everything a little bit fast. It doesn't help. Like doing presentations always nerve wracking. I don't know whether you guys have done a lot of digital programming ever since COVID happened since last year, and then we've done quite a bit ourselves. You know what, Charlotte? We have a little bit of extra time. Thank you, you guys. Charlotte is amazing as a boss, as a presenter. In fact, I love her to bits. I'm gonna just stop sharing this. I'm just gonna share the screen just a little bit of a moment to ensure that everybody has some form of paper. Don't worry if it's colored paper or regular paper or it's just already being used on one side. All you need is a blank space, pen, pencil, marker, whatever your mark making tool that you have handy. And we're gonna sit back and relax. And I'm actually going to describe a landscape, and you will be doodling it on your paper. Yeah. But before that, Charlotte, I want to take the opportunity. I'm just gonna get to know everybody. I'm just gonna stop sharing and see everybody. Oh, now it's better. Now I can see everyone. And if you would, I would love to see the face behind the names, because we were given a list, and our dear, wonderful Dr. Esther Jusa is here. Hi, Esther. Good morning from Arts of the Earth. Yes, is strongest ally.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Good for support. And I'm looking at everybody now, and let's see. Can I strike a chat with? How about Joanne Villaruz? Hi, Joanne. How are you today?
Oh, so good. I'm so excited for this.
I'm excited to meet you. Would you like to share a little bit about what are you running an organization yourself, or have intentions to?
Oh, I am actually an employee from
Okay,
Bagosphere.
nice.
Yes, our CEO is Zian Lee. Yes, and we are. And I'm with Joan here. Hello,
Hi,
Joan in the same
Joanne.
work.
Hello.
Yes, we are actually from the product team creating content for our learners. Trying to transition from offline to online learning environment.
Love it, love it. And how's your new norm have been for you guys in terms of evolution and business strategy?
Oh, it was a roller coaster ride for us. All of
Wasn't
a
it
sudden
for
we had,
everybody? Wasn't it for
yeah,
everybody?
yeah, but it was a very exciting ride.
And you know what? I was just talking to a couple of childcare teachers just last week, and never in my life would I imagine our conversation would be in such a way where they were offering me technical assistance digitally. Like, oh yeah, we have this application. By the way, you can use the Jamboard. They were offering a cloud service, facility when we are attending to them as a content provider. So it's actually interesting in terms of that. Evolution of people moving into the digitization of things, isn't it? Like the first year, I believe, was a little bit of a shell shock for everyone, but now that we are in year two, a lot of lesson learned. And I also believe, and I want to believe, that there's a lot more empathy with the use of such facilities online and doing everything on Zoom. We're very blessed to have digital technology behind us. May not be the ultimate solution, obviously, because we're human beings and presence is everything, isn't it? Like to meet up in person at the end of the day, ultimately. And Zoom, I find, can be really exhausting. Thank you so much, Joanne, for sharing this morning. I just want to strike a bit of a conversation. I see everybody, lovely faces this morning, and we're about to go into Doodle by Narrative. Okay, I'm just gonna start sharing the screen one more time. Yeah, and I just want to begin by saying this whole session this morning is about us reflecting on how we are now as an adult. Yeah, so how much as an adult and have you kept those character traits of which you were or still have as you were a child? Yeah, so do you still think the same way? Do you react the same way? Obviously, we are all successfully in a lot of percentage, integrated into our adulting life, and but at the same time, how are the things that you remember from young, the way you attend to things, your attitude, your positivity, and this is what we're gonna do. This is all before your status, your positions in life, your responsibility. This is good times, right? Wonderful memories when life was so freeing. So if you're ready with your pen, paper, and markers, whatever you have, I'm about to go into a narrative, and I would like for everyone to doodle this landscape that I will be describing. Here we go. Green tall grass surrounds a beautiful mirror lake. Green tall grass surrounds a beautiful mirror lake. On the far right, a big oak tree with thick branches of leaves slowly giving in to autumn. On the far right, a big oak tree with thick branches of leaves slowly giving in to autumn. On the left, more bushes of orange and yellow line all the way around the lake to a castle. On the left, more bushes of orange and yellow line all the way around the lake to a castle. The surface of the lake mirrors the majestic, old, yet grand castle with its seven minarets. The surface of the lake mirrors the majestic, old, yet grand castle with its seven minarets. Low lying clouds like cotton candy aplenty gracefully passes it by like a magical backdrop. Low lying clouds like cotton candy aplenty gracefully passes it by like a magical backdrop. Mountain ranges in a distant. Mountain ranges in a distant. A lady and a child holds each other's hand standing by the big oak tree, staring into this amazing scene. A lady and a child holds each other's hand standing by the big oak tree, staring into this amazing scene. I shall repeat the narrative once more. Green tall grass surrounds a beautiful mirror lake. On the far right, a big oak tree with thick branches of leaves slowly giving in to autumn. On the left, more bushes of orange and yellow line all the way around the lake to the castle. The surface of the lake mirrors the majestic old yet grand castle with its seven minarets. Low-lying clouds like cotton candy aplenty gracefully passes it by like a magical backdrop. Mountain ranges in a distant. A lady and a child holds each other's hand, standing by the big oak tree, staring into this amazing scene. Thank you so much for listening to me intently. What I would like you to do is, if you have your handphone handy, or if you can take a picture with your laptop and upload it onto our Padlet page, let's look at everybody's work of doodling art. Yeah, for those of you who have not done doodle, which I doubt ever, it's a very relaxing activity you can do with just about anybody, your friends, if you're an educator, with your students. Yeah, it does help a lot of focus and concentration. In fact, a lot of studies surrounding doodling would even encourage you to be a better listener in meetings or attending to lectures. Yeah, so doodling is really one of those activities is really underrated. It's actually a wonderful, wonderful thing to do even on a daily basis. I'm gonna switch to our Doodle page, sorry, Padlet page, and see what we have gotten thus far. Okay, so as you can see, I think we're still waiting for submissions, and you can take your time to find. Ah, yes, the first one has come in. And if you'd like to, please put in your names beside your artwork so we can uh, discuss with everybody on your works of art. That will be wonderful. I love the work that is coming in right now.
Imran, I seem to have lost the QR code. Can I get it again, please?
Sure, not a problem. Just one moment, I can bring it up for you.
Thank you.
I hope everybody's okay. If you're okay, put your okay sign up. It's all good. Hi, Charlotte. Live show. Charlotte just got back on online with us.
Hi, I'm back. Yeah. My computer died halfway as I don't know. I mean, and I'm on my handphone now. So if I sound different or can't really read everything from my screen properly, just forgive me. I'm gonna go with the flow.
No worries. Look at this first one here. It's wonderful to see the use of colors represented. Or someone has high quality paper from Ritz Carlton. Zach, hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm in
You
quarantine
spent
now,
you,
so
you spent no expense. Oh, okay.
yeah.
No worries. Thank you so much for joining us. You're spending quality time
Yeah.
in that aspect. How's your week been, Zach? This is your tail end of your quarantine period.
Yeah. Like if things go well, I should come out at the end of next week.
All right. We look forward to welcoming you back. Lovely. And also, I'd like to take note of how the choice of either portrait and landscape, you know, that's quite interesting as well, isn't it? Wow, look at Ira's castle is on top of the mountain ranges. Is it Ira or Ira?
Era.
Ira, hi Ira, how are you today?
Okay.
Yes, love the choice of bright colors. Would that also translate to your personality? You are a drop of sunshine, would you say?
I guess.
Okay. What do you do, Ira? Would you like to expand a little bit?
I'm a student in Singapore.
Okay. Are you in, where are you schooling actually? Are you from Sota? I saw someone was from Sota.
I'm from Temasek JC.
Ah, Temasek. Okay. Thank you so much. Ooh, there you go. Esther, outdid yourself now. Well, that's doodling, man.
Excellent.
I'm just scrolling through everyone for the benefit of everyone. And obviously, you can do the same as well on your end. Amazing. Could I get an opinion from an observer standpoint? Can I ask? Let's see. Let's get Mary Yuan, Econ Pro. Is that right? Hi, Mary.
Hello, can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes, perfectly fine.
Hello.
What do you think of the doodling artwork that we have compiled here?
Wow. We definitely are coming from different perspectives.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Um, wow, look at this one, right? For example,
but it was definitely fun.
in the mirror lake. I drew everything in the mirror lake. I love where this is going, right? This is nothing short of Avatar for me, like a city in the skies, or that aspect. I love how freeing this is. Oh, is that
I
a
think
next
is that a Mulan? Is that a
yeah,
reflection?
exactly. That's like paying homage to when will my reflection show? Love that song too. I love it. Awesome. Mm. This is amazing, everybody. Whew. Hmm. Look at the priority of this doodle, for example. The priority. The castles is smaller, right? The lake is almost like a sort of a pond situation, and the persons are actually definitely accentuated, and the big oak tree. Amazing. Darshan, what do you think? What's your takeaway from all this doodle?
Um, I feel like because something that because I am a student in Sota, and
Okay.
so um something that people always bring about is the concept of perspective and interpretation, and how when everyone is given the same text, or like um the same instruction, the product that is produced is different, and based on like what kind of walks of life you come from, the way your thought process is like.
Hmm.
So it's very interesting to see how different people like thought about and interpreted the dialogue that you were reading.
That's right.
And yeah, I just thought that's quite interesting.
Yeah, and every doodle is legit. Every doodle, you know, is somebody's lens, and we are not dismissive, right? We're going to take your perspective. That's your angle of things. Some of us were using binoculars, some were using telescope, some were using wide angle lens. Yeah, but everybody has portrayed their perspective, and this is where we are going to draw upon the fact that none of us could say that we're not number one creative, because we conjure this perspective up, from your mind down to a piece of paper. That's actually already one big process, right? And then to let someone see it and understand your perspective is another, yeah. And at the same time, also the only medium was audio, right? There was no symbolism, a show of a model of what a lake looks like, how the castle with the 7 minarets were to be, and that was a draw into your own uh, experiences in life, as well as visual representation that you have gotten for X number of years when you've been alive, right? Either you've been to Europe or you were Googling castles around the world on YouTube, or, you know, from that kind of context, and you were just representing it best you know how. And that's how Playeum allows for such dialogues with children, as what Charlotte has mentioned, to keep the child in that awe of wonder and encourage the dialogue, you know. And the most important thing is, I just like to attend to the Padlet, especially with regards to permission. Mm. Permission is very interesting because you are interpreting my narrative. There is no right or wrong, and so there was a lot of empowerment in the right of the artist per se, yeah, to interpret. You can go as far as it takes you, okay, and that's also very interesting. If you look at your doodle, you'll find how much permission did you allow yourself and how freeing you want it to be, right? You can do it top down, you can do it lateral. I think some of the doodles even have a little bit of a depth of field. If we have photographers today, you know what I'm talking about, the nearness and the distance and the far back, you know. And also, you had people who just literally went into the skies and totally went, you know, the blue ocean direction. Like, what if it was like this, right? So permission to play is a very key thing to support the young and their language and their opinions of things and their voices to be heard. Yeah. And as such is the same for us in our environment with our peers and colleagues as well. So if you are allowing discussion within your team, this is something of a takeaway. Like, you do have restrictions, you do have budgets, you have a lot of things that seems very impossible. But if you allow an openness of it all, to just put it out there and say, what if? What if? Let's say we don't have any problems, we don't have any limitations. What if? Then the sky's the limit, literally, right? You can take it away as far as you like, and we can always deliberate and come back to it. Is it really possible? Yeah. Can we realize this? Yeah. Not everything is, as a change maker, you will find not everything is going to be laid out for you on a silver platter. You might have to come up with an original idea all the time to solve infrastructure, for example, how to get things done, how to make stakeholders work with one another. Yeah. So this is a reflection with regards to creativity. Yeah. And this is the approach that Playeum does, as we have for more than a decade with children in our spaces when they are playing. Yeah. Charlotte, would you like to weigh in on this?
Yeah, I know. I really made me think about, you know, when we do all this narrative doodling, we can also doodle problems or doodle solutions, right? You can imagine, like, okay, if you someone speaks about what's going on in our situation right now, and you draw it and you draw the solution around, it's a very powerful exercise. But what I like, more importantly, what you said is, what permission do we give ourselves to go beyond our limiting beliefs? Quite often, our limiting beliefs is what we think we're capable of, right? Or what, oh no, but I can't. Oh no, but this is the situation. But what permission do we give ourselves to think beyond the I can't, or the this is the situation? I think that's my biggest takeaway from what you had just said. Yeah, even in my own pursuit of certain hobbies or activities like my sports, I think, oh, but I'm not there yet. I can't. That's my limiting belief. So what permission do I give myself to expand beyond that? Yeah. So thank you, Imran. Is that my cue to take on the next session, the next
Yes.
section.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining.
Okay.
us.
Yes, and Imran will be back in a jiffy because we have another making session, which is going a bit deeper. But I wanted to say that if I sound differently or I look, if there's anything, please let me know because I'm working from my handphone right now. Imran, my computer has completely died.
Oh, no
So
worries. I got your back.
yeah, this is resilience. Okay, so the next change making skill that we think it's important is resilience. This is something that sees us through, right? That allows us to bounce back from adversity. So we believe while we work with children as our primary audience, we equally important are adults. So we believe that resilient children build resilient adults, right? And that's important. And resilience, if you go to the next slide, it's not okay. Before I want to say that resilience is a skill, it is not something you're born with. Okay. The reality is that all children, young people, and adults, right? But we talk about children here, face stress from studies, bullying, whether it's cyberbullying or in person, moving to a new neighborhood or new friends, fighting with friends, home quarrels. All children face stress. This is the reality. Yeah. So can you move to the next slide, Imran? Yeah, so why is resilience important? Because it helps them confront the issues they're facing, right? And it allows them to problem solve, experiment, and think critically, cognitively about how to go about carrying through and walking on, journeying on. Allows them to communicate and collaborate, right? Resilience is not something that you, when we were born, that we had. It's really a skill that we develop. It's like a muscle that we develop. Can you move on to the next slide, Imran? So if we talk about resilience, right, what exactly is resilience? Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, failure, and challenges, right? As I mentioned, it's not something that you are born with, it's a skill you have. And I think this allows us to look at emotions. I'm going to touch a bit on emotions right now, because obviously my whole slide deck is gone and I had pointers in there, but I'm going to talk from the heart. Now, emotional resilience is one of the strongest thing to build, right? And why I think is important because it determines a lot of our behaviors, how we feel. And at Playeum, or the work that I've done at Playeum, have allowed me to believe that there is no emotion that is right or wrong. There is no emotion that is bad or good. We don't label the emotions. All emotions tell us something about ourselves. It protects us, right? So when you feel fear, when you feel guilt, you feel anger, you feel anxiety, they all tell you something about what your body is going through, what your mind is going through. So they're not bad emotions. I think it's easy to say, it's like a cliche, but if you really drill down, we term it as bad. So when a child cries, we say, don't cry, it's wrong, don't cry. It's not a bad emotion, it's your way, your body is telling you something that you need to pay attention to, right? I mean, that's what it is. So when I feel anxiety about something, instead of pushing it aside or not processing it, I feel it fully, right? We try to encourage children or even ourselves as adults to feel that emotion fully, not rationalize it or think about, okay, I feel anxiety because of this, but this is because of that and that. We try not to rationalize why we feel it, but just feel the emotion fully and see what comes out from you. You'll be surprised at how much clarity you will have and how almost the anxiety or fear or guilt or anger actually goes away because you are paying attention to that emotion. And why emotion is important is because it builds resilience. It allows us to take the next step forward onto the journey that we're supposed to take. And I say this a lot with, of course, for 50 years of personal experience. But I think this is something that we should allow a safe space for our children to feel those emotions and not neglect it. Likewise for us ourselves. Yeah. So that's my take on the emotional part, because I do believe that a lot of our emotions guide our behaviors and our thinking, right? And that manifests into our
what we do with others. So emotional resilience also, if I may add, adds to mental well-being, which is huge in this day and age, right? Mental well-being. How we feel, how we process the feelings or not process the feelings affect our mental state of being. Okay, so I'm speaking off the cuff and from my heart. So Imran, if you can change the slide, please.
Doing great.
Thank you. Okay, did you know, no, let me try and see my notes properly. Okay, that resilient children, oh yeah, this is a research that I found. So did you know that resilient children are more likely to take healthy risks, push themselves out of their comfort zone, and help them have a growth mindset? This is research that has proven. So how do you build resilience, right? That's very important because it's a skill. It's about allowing safe spaces for them to feel and acknowledge their feelings. Resilience helps us to keep on the path to achieving our goals. Even if you give up at some time, understand why, feel the feeling of what does it feel like to fail? Why am I giving up? When you process that feeling, okay, I give up, there's nothing wrong giving up, but feel the feeling of whatever that comes up for you. Is it failure? Is it a sense of I'm not good enough, which is quite a lot of people feel that way. Innately, if you peel the onion layer, a lot of us feel not good enough, right? So feel the feeling, but resilience helps us to bounce back. You never know, my son gave up something, but I did not expect it. He came back to it after, you work through that feeling with him of that fear of failure or like, I can't do it. So resilience helps us keep on our path to constantly solve problems and come back to it. Yeah, I was going to tell you a story of my own, but I think let's move on, Imran. Sorry, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so how can you help build resilience in your child?
I just want to say at this moment, Charlotte is being very resilient to her technological challenges.
Technological challenges. Okay, thank you. And I'm not giving up. I'm going to speak from my heart. Can you move to the next slide, Imran? I was going to swipe, but it doesn't work. So so now we're going to, we talk about some takeaways, right? Whenever anyone attends a workshop, they're always like, what are the takeaways? Like, what can you share bits of takeaways? Honestly, these are all our personal experiences, but you got to experience it for yourself. When you go through a situation where there is like a challenge or an adversity or block in your path, how can we overcome that? So with children, I think what's important is one-on-one time. It's really being fully present with them. And that means putting away your handphone, or even with your friends or young people, holding space for your colleagues, for your friends, for your fellow family members. It's being fully present because people know whether you're fully present or not. People also know online whether you're with us or not. They can see if you're typing, they can see if you're texting. Being fully present in the moment is the point of creation. Can I just tell you that when you're fully present, you are creating the moment that you desire right now? I know this sounds very esoteric, but it is true. And children feel it when you're fully there for them, okay? Ask for their opinion and their ideas. This gives them an opportunity to share their voice and their ideas. And that gives confidence. It gives validation when they're fully heard. And when you're fully present to hear their answers, they will feel even more 100 times validated that their opinion or their thoughts matter. Okay. The other thing is to build resilience is let them solve it. Don't, it's quite often as a parent myself, I have the Playeum hat and then I have my parent hat, right? Sometimes it's faster to put on my parent hat than telling them what to do it. But I can tell you, when you give them that space, or when you give your colleagues or friends the space, the young people space to solve their own problems, the skills that come out of that small moment or big moment can be tremendous. The skill of how I'm going to solve it is creativity. What can I do is imagination, right? Oh, I keep failing is resilience, right? So letting them solve their own problems in a safe way is also great. Safe space for all, not just physical, but psychological. We talked about that, about not having no judgment around it. Can I tell you that judgment is a huge thing, that even if it's in your tone, it's in your voice, and judgment stops people from carrying on. When you judge someone, it stops people from acting. It stops people from taking creative risk. It stops people from taking risk because they're afraid, right? So, and the last one is all emotions are valid. As we spoke, I speak passionately about emotions because I'm a very sensitive person. I feel a lot of things, right? And sometimes the feelings cause discomfort in me. And discomfort is something I must say we have to learn to sit with. There are lights in this world and there are shadows. Every light has a shadow. There is no right or wrong. We have to acknowledge the shadow. So when you feel an emotion that is not bad, but makes you feel discomfort, that means you need to address it, right? So all emotions are valid. Yes, next slide, Imran, please. Okay, this is some of the ways that we look at play, and when we facilitate play with a child, we talk about three ways of facilitating play, right? Directive, scaffolding, and non-directive. The next slide, Imran, if we can move, will explain a little bit more about what directive, scaffolding, and non-directive means to us. Directive is when you tell someone what to do, you instruct, right? Scaffolding is when you prompt and you ask, you reinforce by suggesting, by provoking, by initiating, by saying, what if you do this? What if we add water to this? What do you think would happen, right? So prompting, posing problems. Okay, if this situation happens, what will we do? Co-constructing. This is scaffolding. This means if you think of a scaffolding structure, it allows you to go levels above level, above level, above level. So it's elevating the level of play or elevating the level of thinking. Non-directive would mean being physical proximity. Now, I don't always mean that you have to helicopter your child or helicopter over the situation, but knowing that there is someone that's safe and encourages and holds space for that child is quite powerful, right? Listening, acknowledging, commenting, encouraging, and modeling. Modeling is when sometimes we work with some children, especially from sectors where they are resistant to communicate with us. They may not want to speak. So for the first good part of the workshop or the session that we engage with them, we model. We don't ask them to make, we make it ourselves and we play. And sooner or later, you'll see them coming in and going, no, you're doing it wrongly. Let me show you. And then we realize that they have started to problem solve with us unintentionally by us modeling as well. Yeah, thank you for the next slide, Imran.
Boom.
Oh, it's let's play. That's my cue to step away and let Imran take over. He's going to explore resilience and provocations in the next activity. So Imran, take it away.
All right, guys, this is going to be really heavy technical stuff. It's going to test you to the limits. We're going to play with fork and spoons. So, I don't know whether you're ready on a Saturday to do this, but this is how we're going to do it. And it's going to get real. Okay, things are going to get real fast. So if you have not prepared these items, I'm just going to chill and do some conversations with a couple of you here. Well, for those who require to disappear off your screens, and if you want to, grab a couple of things, they should be in the kitchen or at your desk. I'm not sure whether we are having a bunch of makers in this room today, Charlotte. I'm wondering, I'm just going to pick on some people. For example, let's see. How about Amara? Amara Rushiadi? Hi.
Hello,
Hello. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm fine, thanks. Amara, do you make stuff on your on your own time on target? Do you sew or paint or create?
Yeah.
What do you
I
do?
really like to paint,
Really? You
actually.
like, wow, wow. See, now I've just walked into that one, isn't it, Charlotte? She's gonna bring her whole gallery and send me a link right now, very soon.
No.
What is your medium for painting, Amara? Are you like an oil painter, watercolor, or you just a sketch artist or illustrator?
I like using watercolor and also acrylic. Yeah,
Wow. Okay, there you go. That's a magic word there. And how long have you been painting, Amara?
it's been 3 years, I think, since I take the course.
Oh, I see. Did it start by a course, or did you start doing before even taking up a course? How did it spawn? How did it begin?
Before I just doing it with, just sketching and nothing serious. And after I take that course, it's getting a little more serious, I think.
Wow. And how are you enjoying the journey so far?
I really like it because it's really fun and we can talk about and expressing our feelings in there. So yeah,
I can see that you're really enjoying it. Thank you so much, Amara, for sharing with me.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And how about let's see, we've got a couple of people with no videos, but I don't mind just even listening to you. How about Shazwan? Hi, Shazwan, are you still there? Okay, I guess he's trying to or she's trying to get the button unmute, but if we don't hear from her or him, then we can move on to maybe Grace. Is Grace logged on? No? Okay, I guess we don't have Grace. Maybe then we'll try Ishian. Hi, Ishian.
Hi, morning.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah? You have big plans
Yeah.
for the weekend?
No, just work actually,
Oh,
sadly.
really? Come on, we got to do something like internal weekend plans. Okay.
Maybe get some sleep tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Sleep is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sleep is always good.
Mhm.
I'm a parent myself, so I can sleep anywhere. You put me under the table, I'll sleep. Like any moment where I'm not interacted with. So do you make, Ishian? Do you like to create on your own accord? Do you have any hobbies like sewing and stuff like that?
I like to doodle and I take photographs. Mhm.
Photographer, what's your weapon of choice? Canon, Nikon?
Uh, just my phone actually.
Oh, okay. So you're on a
Yeah.
new age photographer with anyway, the technology for photography on cameras are really amazing right now, isn't it? There's a lot of features and filters and all sorts of things, right?
Yeah, and it's so easy to like carry instead of bringing a heavy DSLR around. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's true, it's true. So Ishin, what do you find about this process of like taking photos with your phone camera?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
As you are taking photos with your phone camera, how do
Mhm.
you find this process that you get into it really and you try to get better tips for it, how to get a better storytelling, an angle, composition and stuff like that? You get really into it when you are taking your shots.
Uh, I think I go in and out of that mood really quickly. It's just like if I see something interesting and then I will focus for like those few minutes where I want to focus on the shot, and
Ah,
then once I'm done with the shot, I will, relax and enjoy whatever I was doing
I
beforehand.
see, I see. But when
Yeah.
obviously when the subject matters to you, you'll be like, oh, I really have to do this really well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, great, great, great. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, everybody, I want to just like to digress back to the activity we're about to do. We are going to solve a problem. You are going to all make your own launcher. Okay, so launcher is such a big word, on a Saturday morning. Let's make our own catapults per se. Yeah, you're gonna launch a projectile, and you can make use of those items that we've asked from you. We have cutleries. You have them, rubber bands, and paper. Yeah, so how will you attend to this? It will be up to you. And at the same time, as you are making, I will go through my slides and model behaviors of what we generally, conduct ourselves with the children itself. Yeah, I'll get the slides up first. Okay, so if you have your material, we can begin now. Your challenge is to create a launcher. Okay, and how you're gonna fix it or how you're gonna manipulate with the materials, it's totally up to you. I have my own as well. I can show you. Got my own, some spoons here. Got some straws. I probably have done this 1,000 times, so it's not a problem. I love to challenge myself and come up with a different version of it every single time. Yeah. You can begin as I speak. Hmm? Joanne, what do you think about catapult or launcher when I say the word? What goes through your mind? What does it have to do or achieve?
yeah, maybe get the paper from one space to another, but the challenge would be how far would it go?
That will be the secondary challenge, okay? Let's get it launching, and then after that, we can push ourselves and see whether we can really try to, you know, make it fly across the sky per se, or wherever you are in your high ceiling space at home. So we got all these materials. What is your go-to material? What attracts you the most? Let's ask Chinhan. Is that Tom Chinhan? Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you today, sir?
Great.
And what do you have for materials? If I may ask, what do you have with you?
I'm trying to play with this pair of chopsticks.
Oh, you got chopsticks, huh? Well,
Yeah.
you have the upper hand already. Chopsticks, and what else do you have with
Rubber bands and spoons.
Okay, you
That's
got the
all I have.
bands. You got the bands. You got the spoons. Okay, okay. And what do you notice about the materials, Junhan? About the rubber bands? What do you notice about them?
I mean, I'm trying to launch rubber bands. I mean, when you say launcher, launching the rubber bands comes to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, trying to make some kind of hinge using the chopsticks.
Right. So where do you think your the strength will come from? What do you think when you look at your materials? What do you think is the source of your kinetic energy or potential energy?
So serious.
Yeah, Saturday morning. Let's go for it.
The rubber bands, I guess. The hinge sounds good.
Yeah, the rubber bands is excuse me, your go-to.
Yeah, the hinge sounds good.
Nice. I love the perspective that you have. Thank you so much. What about Shi Yi? Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Please pardon my Hanyun Pinyin.
Ah, my God, I'm surprised to hear a Chinese pronunciation of my name. Yeah, but see you.
I'm sorry, it's not when I've been practicing it. Just like
you practice it with the nameless?
No, not really. I don't say no. The picture is like me in the dark practicing nameless. It's not gonna happen. But we just so happened to we did run a program with a childcare environment whereby at least about 60-70% of them were Chinese speaking educators, and we had to have translators as well. So I had to sort of pick up a little bit here and there, but really it's not my prowess. All I said was, and take it away, Mr. Kun Liang. But yeah, what is your angle with your materials? What do you have that we can't see obviously, but what are you playing with?
I am in like choice paradox. I have too many things.
Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I felt it was instinctive to just reach for whatever that was in front of me and start playing with it.
Nice. That's a good thing.
So yeah, and I just realized, oh shit, this is quite like a barrier to problem solving a little bit. I mean, you start with something, but usually the solutions are just based on the thoughts or concepts that are most accessible to you. So that's sort of limiting as well. Yeah, so I'm just trying to see what else I have right now. Recalibrating. Yeah.
I like the fact that you state I'm just grabbing what's right in front of me, and then like, okay, throw caution to the wind, right? That's a good attitude, right? You're like, okay, fine, this is what I'm dealt with. Fine, I'm gonna roll with it, right? I'm gonna roll with the punches, and life gives you lemon, right? So let's try. And when was the last time you wake up and someone say, "Hey, make a launcher"? You're like, "No, I have other things to do. Thank you very much."
I know. I had to Google. how a catapult looks like.
Oh my goodness, you're using technology. Come on. Actually, that would be a disclaimer, isn't it? I should have actually told everybody, "Hey, please do not open another tab and search Google search." I think it's about just putting it out there and seeing how materials work and explore. No worries, you probably had to decipher exactly what is in your mind, but try to find your own take into it and with the materials that you have. Okay, but lovely. Shi, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Ashton, how are you, buddy?
Hello.
How's it going?
Let's just say I don't make catapults on a daily basis.
Neither do I. But we are trying to go as low tech as possible for such things. There's too
Yeah.
much high tech all around us. But Ashton, what are your materials that you're playing with, if you don't mind sharing with me?
Chopsticks, paper, uh, two rubber bands, and
Okay.
plastic fork.
Okay. This is something I don't seem to have in my house. Chopsticks.
And
Hmm.
Chinese.
What have we been using? Maybe my wife is like hiding all the good stuff. It's like you're telling the children here your dad is gonna be up to his mischief again. Hide the chopsticks. Um, yeah, so that's a good thing. What do you have in your mind um, about your design right now?
I have no idea.
Not really. Well, what's the early concept? What is the early concept you're thinking about?
Definitely involving the rubber band.
Okay. And what about the rubber band? You would like to expand on the rubber band?
As a student learning physics, I learned that rubber band has elastic potential energy. I'm trying to use my physics knowledge to help me, but it's not working.
Okay, that's a good thing. Now I want to ask you, why is it not working, Ashton? As I do with children. Oh, why, Ashton? He has potential energy, but how come it's not working, Ashton?
I think the problem is I don't have a design in mind yet.
Ooh.
I don't know how
Okay.
to go about it.
What if you mm, mix it up with another object, Ashton? What do you think? What if you, combine it? What about that? What do you think?
I don't know what I'm thinking right now.
Maybe you should, yeah, give it a shot, Ashton. What if, throw caution to the wind, just like she, right? She's like, well, whatever is in the bag, I've got a lot of choice right here, but I'll just take whatever I have. I'm going to do something about it. So what if, right? Think about it, and maybe that will conjure up the how as you're doing the what if, right, Ashton? Give it some thought. Yeah. Yeah. What about, let's see, I'm gonna have to expand my gallery view so I can see a lot more people. Here you go. I think, Joanne, how's it going?
I think I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh,
it, it
that's
doesn't
a,
it doesn't make any sense to me right
oh,
now.
that's perfect. I like where you are. I like the fact that you're lost. And that's a one of the best place to be. The most wonderful place to be is to be lost, because once you're lost, then before you're found, right, per se, you're gonna give it all sorts of what ifs, right? You're gonna try, and explore, right? I'm sure you're doing just that. What do you have with your materials, Joanne? What are you using currently?
Yeah, I currently have two wooden chopsticks, and then I have the plastic spoon and fork with me, and then of course
Okay.
colorful rubber bands.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, and
Nice.
I'm thinking if I need another stick, I kind of want to use my pen maybe if
Okay.
I need it
Ooh,
later.
nice. What do you think will happen when we combine the chopsticks and the pen and the rubber band? What's
I don't know. Maybe something. Maybe I'll need this stick later on to help me catapult the
Uh-huh.
paper, but I don't know how yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it seems that your shortage of material is going to give you
Yeah.
something else, yeah? It's going to give you another present, which means that you have to think about what you don't have as a cross to what you do have, right?
Mm.
What else, right? What else is there if there isn't, right? So yeah, you wish you have another chopsticks or another, well, you do have a pen and other things.
Mhm.
What if? What if? Maybe you should give it a shot, Joanne. Yeah.
Yeah, because just having this is yeah. I guess it's not enough.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
listen to you.
you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Is that the first beta design that you're doing already? Like you fixed everything up already? I can see.
I'm just starting.
Ah, well, it's looking good. In from my vantage point, it's already going somewhere. I think you should keep on at it and see what else is missing and what else can you do with it, right? There's a lot to learn here. Very good, very good. Excellent, excellent. So as Joanne is problem solving, just like everybody else in the room, this is where it's going to lead to some growth. Yeah, it's about understanding. Okay, if this works, this doesn't exactly seems to be missing this. Don't have that. But what else can there be then to achieve this? You're going through these processes in your mind, yeah. But at the same time, you're failure positive. Everybody is like, okay, all right, cool. They don't have that. Fine, I'll work with this and give it a shot. Failure positive. Okay. Let's see. Let's take one more. Nurul. Hi, Nurul. How are you?
Hi,
Hi. How's your week been?
good, quite good.
Yeah. Excellent. Where are you logging in from? You're in obviously, or which country are you in now?
I'm from Singapore.
You are okay. And so what have you been doing at home? Have you been making, creating? Have you been
I've been
writing,
studying.
studying?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do for fun? What do you do on your downtime?
What do I do for fun?
Yeah. How do you relax?
I guess just watch dramas. Yeah, that's what everyone does. So,
Dramas, as in, are we referring to the K-pop dramas?
like Marvel,
Sorry?
like Marvel.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, these are the times, isn't it? I'm sure Netflix and Disney Plus is making lots of money right now.
Yeah.
So what are you playing with today, Nurul? What do you have, your materials? Have you started on making something?
I have two highlighters
Oh,
and two rubber bands.
oh, I like it. Do you mind putting your hand right behind it so that we can see
Yeah,
it?
like a beauty influencer.
Yes, that's right, man. Okay, influencer style. There you go. Looking really nice. It looks like a, what do you call that? Yeah, a handheld catapult, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm
Okay,
just
and
using my
so
fingers.
yeah, and how do you put the your projectile per se?
Project like that.
Yeah,
Like
what do you launch? That's right. You have your paper. What is that?
paper. Yeah,
Oh,
I
your
just
ball of
use the
paper.
paper.
Okay, okay. Do you want to do a bit of a demonstration for us?
It's not actually working.
Oh, show us exactly that when it's not working. I think that's where the value is.
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
fail visibly. I don't know if you guys can see or not.
Yeah, don't worry. The best thing is you're not gonna hit any one of us.
I might hit something in front.
Go for it.
It just backfired.
Okay, just backfire. So then ask yourself, how come? Why it backfired? What is your next requirement then?
Um,
What do you think?
I have no idea because I'm not a physics student. Like Ashton.
Do you need to be? Research has shown that we are all naturally born scientists. Yeah, by the way. Yeah. Have you heard of STEM learning or STEAM learning right now? Right. Science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Right. We can make solutions. We can find solutions to and plausible solutions as well. Give it some thought. Think about it. The way you place the paper, where the rubber band is, what is required right there. I'm gonna leave it to you. Okay, Nurul?
Yeah, okay.
No
Thank you.
worries. Keep on at it. That's great. That's great. I like the fact that we are having all this stumbling blocks, if you want to call it, but actually it's an opportunity of learning. Yeah, we are failure positive. That means a straight road from A to B is never the best in terms of getting data. Yeah, think about it, right? If you can finish and solve everything so fast, there's no value in it. But if you're bumping left and right, there's so much more. Okay. For those of you, I'm just wary of time. It's 11:38. For those of you who have done your creations, I'd like to invite you to go to the Padlet page. Take a shot of it. Don't worry if it's not, um, you know, ready just yet. Let's grab a shot of all the creations that we've done thus far. Okay, and put it up onto your Padlet page. Charlotte, I'm mindful of time. It's 11:38.
Yes, Imran. Sorry, I'm back. I was
No
trying to take a
worries.
picture with the same phone I'm using a Zoom call with you. So, yes, we're mindful. I think we wanted to just have a short sharing at the end of the session. Do you think that could be done in a group, like with everyone, because of timing?
Yes, in fact, I would say at this point in time, as well as we wait for all the, look at all the creations. Charlotte is already appearing on the Padlet itself.
Padlet, yeah.
I would like to also, for those who have already uploaded your photos, to add on your personal notes with regards to what me and Charlotte has been talking about for the last good 60 minutes or so. Your own notations that perspective rather on the resilience, provocations, creative facilitations, okay, and populate the Padlet as well. Yeah. So not just the photos of the launches that you make, and some look at this. This is a fantastic Look at the design. And also write notes with regards to your perspective on resilience, provocations, creative facilitation as well. As you have heard me talking to some of the creators earlier on, how I asked the questions like, "Oh, what are you making? What are you having? Why didn't it work? How come?" All provocations, asking, 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 asking. The way your angle comes in is more to facilitate the unpacking of the designer's mind about what they observe. Yeah, even though we're not trained in formally in physics, yeah, or what you might call it, a legit scientist per se. Oh wow, look at thumbs, handheld. There's an additional thing in the middle too.
Imran, are you sharing screen on the Padlet?
Okay, I believe I am. Can everybody see the Padlet link? Wave your hands if you can. Very good. Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yes. That's amazing. Wow.
And yeah. Oh, we got a video. Whoa, look at this, Charlotte. Nice. Look at this one. I'm going to play. Come on. Is that? Oh, it's recorded as. Oh, there you go. Wow.
Oh.
Woohoo! That is awesome. Wow.
Aww.
All right, that's it. Come on, own up. Who's this? There's no names. Fantastic. That's gonna be on my GIF avatar for today or something. Look at the problems, that of the design, particularly instability and launching. Fantastic. And yeah, you know what? We are pressed for time, definitely. But ask yourself, how can these components, how can you hold space for this at home or at your work environment and in your community? And at the same time, also ask the same question, share one or more actions you can do different tomorrow if you have these three things: the creativity, resilience, and also the manner in which you provocate, yeah, within your teams, your family, the groups that you work with. What is the nature of the environment that you can impact? Please populate the Padlet. The Padlet is going to be live, and it's for the benefit of everybody that has linked to it. And we can always share with all our peers and friends about these approach. Yeah. As we are waiting for more to be uploaded, Charlotte, would you like to lead us out?
Yes. Can everyone hear me, Imran?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. So I had to move from the renovation that happened in the other room. So I want to say, doing, even if we're presenting it, right, Imran and I always actually do the activities ourselves, right? So every time I so-called creatively solve a problem, like how to make a catapult work better, as small as it is or as big as it is, it always brings such connection with me inside, and I feel so good about it. I don't know how this is something you feel, but when you solve a problem, there's such a rush of, what is it, adrenaline, you would say, or satisfaction or contentment. And this feeling is powerful. This feeling reinforces our desire or our passion to go forth. Every time you feel you've solved something, it reinforces the next creative risk that you can take for yourself, right? So keep doing it on a small basis, on a big basis, even if it's you open your fridge in the morning and think, oh, what am I going to cook today? And you just look at what you have in the fridge and creatively come up with a recipe you've never tried. That is creativity at one level. That's everyday creativity. This muscle is a very powerful muscle. So keep doing it. I mean, thank you, Imran, for leading this activity. Please continue to think about how you can hold space for yourself, your people around. Holding space for yourself is equally important to holding space for others, because we are limited by our own thoughts, right? Or our own beliefs that we can or cannot, or we should or should not. So think about holding space for yourself, for others, for children, for your colleagues or your friends. And I also want to thank Billy and Zach, who have been supporting us with the tech and everything to make sure everything goes well. Yeah. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being with us, for being fully present. and for giving us the time to share the work that we so believe in, right? We so believe in what we do. So thank you. And please leave comments, feedback. We always want to make sure that we are relevant. And we're, you know, if you think, oh, heard this before, nothing new, please share it with us as well. If you hear, you know, please share this with more people. Just drop us a note in the chat or in the, you can be anonymous, it doesn't matter. I think it's important to be honest with us about the feedback about today.